Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Farlands or Bust, everybody. Welcome back. Where did we leave off here? Oh, on a little bit of an island with some red roses and a bunch of creepers. A bunch of creepers off in the distance, but welcome back, Wolfie, and welcome back, audience, to Farlands or Bust, episode... Hello, place the block. Episode 467 of the series, where we will grab Wolfie. East, west, let us head west. In Farlands or Bust. Indeed. Today is Wednesday, April 1st, 2015. April 1st. It is supposedly April Fool's Day, but I am going to take a page out of John Oliver's show and replace it with, holy crap, I really need to do my taxes day, because good lord. Oh man. But yeah, welcome back. I'm actually, a bit of a disclosure, I am recording, once again, this episode a day early. A day early. That seemed to have worked out quite well. I realize might not have the most apt or up-to-date numbers for the Child's Play charity thing, or even news items. I don't really... There's so many questions I have to answer. I haven't been doing much of the relevant space news or news items, but that's all right. We'll be trying this out. So congratulations to everybody who now can actually watch Farlands or Bust, because it's not coming out at like midnight or the next day, your local time. Congratulations! This is a great achievement for you all. But we could always grab some more wool and continue west. And we had some extremely generous donations and funds raised for the fundraiser for Child's Play charity at farlandsorbust.com. Almost $1,000, I mean, since the last episode. And that's just today, so perhaps by tomorrow, by the time this episode actually goes up, it might be $1,000. But we are up to $34,000. We left off with $33,900 something. We're up to $34,757.74. This season, Season 5 of Farlands or Bust, raised for Child's Play charity. We're trying to raise $50,000, at which point we will schedule and then hold a Flobathon live stream that will hopefully not be interrupted by internet connectivity issues. And at the end of that, we'll press F3 to find out how far we have walked this season. The last time I pressed F3 was March 1st, 2014, during the last Flobathon, and we were 1479940, 1,479,000 blocks from spawn. Definitely will be over 2 million. Will we be over 3 million blocks from spawn? That is a question. Or perhaps 3 million, can I hear 4 million? 4 million, 3.5, 3.5, 4, 4, 3.5, 4, 5. No, not 5. Probably not 5. Definitely not 5. But, yeah, we'll look forward to that. Indeed. And a lot of these donations, I do want to thank specifically the Minecraft Bingo community. That is, of course, Minecraft Bingo, as made by Dr. Brian Lorgon 111. Held a, what did they call it? Minecraft Bingo-a-thon? Bingo night, Farlands Bingo night, where a lot of them made videos or did live streams, and they did a round of bingo on the seed 50,000 for $50,000 we're trying to raise for Child's Play charity, and then they donated their times. So if your time was 15 minutes, then you would donate. How did they do that? I think it was up to them where they put the decimal point, but pretty much $15, whatever, for that donation and other donations. But went back and forth. So I think I have at least the list that I got from the Child's Play charity list. There might have been more people who participated and donated. I do appreciate that. But we have, of course, Lorgon 111, Burgasms, Cone Dodger, Insmanity, Obesity 84, Goth Fairy, Ducks Eat Free, and possibly more. I do appreciate that very much. Kind of a little bit of a side fundraiser for Farlands or Bust for Child's Play charity, going to a great cause, getting toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world. That is what Child's Play charity does. So yeah, shout out To the Minecraft Bingo crew. To the Minecraft Bingo crew. They are a crew. J crew. J Peterman. I was watching Seinfeld the other day, and it was the episode where Elaine is eating poppy seeds, and then she gets tested positive for opium and gets fired from the J Peterman catalog. Oh, that guy's hilarious. I was on the slopes of Mountain Popo Mau Mau. That was a very terrible impression of J Peterman, but oh, good times. Yeah, so let's continue walking to the Farlands here in episode 467. I gave an update as to the Child's Play charity donation amount. The date, I think we're ready to get through some of these questions. We got another reason we raised so much money since the last episode. A very generous donation from Dan. Dan H. Dan, as it's called. And his question is, NASA lets you choose one item to take on a one-way trip to Mars. Ignoring any size or weight problems, what would you choose? One item that I'm assuming cannot be human. It has to be an object. But, like I can't bring another person with me? Let's think here. One item. I don't really have... Careful, Wolfie! What? I don't really have too much of an... you know... There's no, like, one item that I absolutely need, or that, you know... One item. That's a tough one. And I'm like really struggling to come up with an answer because you're a very generous donation, but I can't come up with an answer to this. I don't know. My like a computer. Well, I mean, there normally are computers. So I was gonna say a computer so I could keep playing Far Lands or Bust on the journey. But generally, astronauts have computers. Possibly not ones that could play video games, generally, but I'm sure such things could be arranged. Some sort of gaming laptop type of thing. I do know that a lot of times the batteries on electronics have to be changed because standard rechargeable batteries pose a fire hazard risk on, say, the International Space Station. So a lot of times the laptops you see there either don't have a battery and simply plug into the main power supply, or even, you know, there have been pictures where you see astronauts have brought their iPods. I think even then they have to like change out the type of battery that's inside the iPod or something. I think that's the story I remember hearing. I could be wrong about that, but one item. I don't know. Probably maybe like a telescope. Let's bring a telescope. Nothing's gonna look too different from the perspective of Mars, but I suppose like an optical telescope, being able to look back from Mars, being the first astronomer on Mars, looking back, say, on Earth or something, through an optical telescope would certainly be an interesting experience, and it's interesting kind of experiment, I suppose. Not really an experiment, but just kind of interesting. I don't know. But yeah, I don't have like a favorite object. Like, can I bring like a car? This awesome, bring a very expensive sports car, some sort of crazy awesome thing to go tooling around the sand dunes of Mars. Woof. So yeah, I don't know. I'm afraid I don't have a really good answer for that one. Do I have good answers for any questions, really? Could any more be expected of me? Oh, man. But continuing on, this one from Dravier Sylvanus, asking in relation to the live streams, when I had the temporary face cam, do you actually pick your nose when nobody watches? Why are you concerned about it? If you missed the live stream, and the footage will be going up soon, because I did recently export those to a three-part live stream archive of the 4-year anniversary live stream that was frequently interrupted by, like I said, internet connectivity issues. I had the face cam and I kept forgetting it was there. And I'm like, gosh, I haven't been like picking my nose or doing anything embarrassing, have I? Because I'm not used to this. So no, I don't generally pick my nose all the time. But if you were just doing your job that you normally do in the privacy of your cubicle or wherever you work, and then suddenly learn that, say, 1,000 people have been watching you live, wouldn't you suddenly have been concerned, oh my gosh, has there been anything that I've done in the recent moments that could be potentially embarrassing? So that was just, it's a joke. I'm making the jokes for the live stream audience, but also kind of it's like you snap out of them like, oh yeah, people are watching. Hello, how are you? Yeah. Oh, dang it. I hope that doesn't interrupt me. I got a little pop-up from my stupid antivirus. Avast. I gotta probably change settings. Stop giving me the pop-ups. All right, let's go to sleep and get rid of this pop-up in the morning. And interruption. See, it's not going away either. Hold on. Be gone. Yeah, there's an option that says like, no interruptions about anything. These are just like, they're like advertising. Why don't you upgrade to the paid version? Blah, 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 blah. Why don't you get out my face? Get out my face. You're like a creeper on my computer. You say you're protecting me, but are you really? Let's continue on here and answer a question from Xavier Penguin. Now that you have Eva, do you think you will say woof every time she happens to bark? Actually, and I made a comment. I'm trying to, if you do see comments, say in these videos, from Kurt Indeed, that's me. I'm trying to, I'm not able to comment from the Far Lands or Bust KurtJMac YouTube channel. So when I am commenting, I comment from the Kurt Indeed channel, but I am trying to respond a little bit more to the comments on the YouTubes and whatnot. But I replied to a similar question in the vlog introducing Eva, and haven't heard her bark at all. Have not heard Eva bark at all. Very quiet. Very quiet dog. So even if that was the case, I would not have had a chance because I don't know what her bark sounds like. So there's that. There's a little bit. Sometimes she seems to have like nightmares or something, and there's little like woof sort of things that come out while she's sleeping, which is interesting. But no real straight up barks. No barks whatsoever. Let's do that. Although I was. The Lord of the Rings was on the other day, and it was the evening. She was just relaxing, and the large wolf creatures that the orcs ride, they were like howling in the distance, going like whoa or whatever, and like sure like looked up and perked around, was like, what? Huh? There's a wolf pack around. There's danger nearby. But otherwise, not much response in the way of that. Number 2, have you talked to Eva in the way you've talked to Wolfie? As in, if she does something silly, do you call her a noodle? No, not really. I'm not commentating my everyday life or when we go out on walks. So that really doesn't come up. I mean, there are times where she switches sides or gets tripped up in my feet while I'm trying to walk her, and I'm like, God, just kind of like, pick a side, stay at the side, not stop walking behind me. So there's that, but no, not really. Do you think that by having Wolfie as your digital dog in Far Lands or Bust has helped you prepared and ready for adopting Eva? Not whatsoever. This digital dog I just deal with on a 30 minutes every other day basis. There's no picking up of poop. There's no feeding. Well, I mean, there's feeding, but there's no like organized feeding or schedule or walking or leash or playing frisbee or anything like that. So no, there's literally no similarities. And people, there a few comments are like, how could you have possibly not named your first dog Wolfie? That would be pretty cheesy, wouldn't it? Wolfie is the in-game dog. It was kind of made up just on a, if you remember, if you go back to episode 32 when I found Wolfie, it was kind of just, I was searching for words and a name. So I'm like, you're a wolf, and your name is Wolfie McWolfington, Esquire the Third Jr. or whatever. So I was really just searching, grabbing at straws. So it really was of no real specific nomenclature that I came up with the name. I put a little bit more thought into having a dog with a different name than Wolfie. Not gonna just. I'm not just gonna. I'm a rebel, Dottie. I don't play by the rules. So yeah, there are those questions from Xavier Penguin. From Manfred 4, have you ever been to a computer, or have you ever been into the computer sciences? Some more than your little knowledge about. Careful, Wolfie. What was that? Where could you possibly have fallen? What? Okay. Beyond your little knowledge, or in my personal opinion, lack of knowledge, about the floating point precision errors that you learned because of your journey. And then he says, regarding that, by his calculations, I should be hitting the next wall soon, where the decimal point shifts, and we see the jittering of the world double in size. Getting worse. Do you think you could handle that for the rest of your series? Yeah, for those of you who don't remember, I can't remember what episode that was, but there was an episode where I was walking, and like a switch, there was a distinct increase in the jitteriness that we're experiencing here. And I tried to go back and like find it when it happened, but I couldn't really find that specific moment. But yeah, we assume that was when the floating point, floated over another integer. Is that the correct terminology? I always say these words and people are like, it's not integer, it's number. It's not a number. It's an integer is the full number, is not. I'm like, whatever, who cares? It moves over a place. And so we definitely experienced that. There are a lot of varying hypotheses that will only happen one more time, because it scales significantly as opposed to just happening on regular intervals. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll certainly be interested to see if that ever happens. But yeah, the floating point, as you can see, I mentioned in the live stream, the selection box at, say, the 292202 monument was just a little bit over, but now you can pretty much see that it's a full. Thanks, Wolfie. It's a full. I was explaining things. It's a full texture pixel off. So a full 16th. These are 16 pixels across, right? Yeah. Get murdered. I said get murdered. There you go. Good job. So, yeah, I'm not sure. And no, I really haven't ever. I didn't take any. Never took any programming classes. The extent of computer science I took was like web design classes and things, and computer art classes. But I never took any programming theory. I do remember Pyro talking about like some of the classes he's taken about computers and like a lot of the weird like stuff I just don't understand. Like theory and even like Dr. Brian Logan 111 talking about his work that he did before about, like I always get very confused about the process of like, how does a programming language come to be? Like, I'm going to invent a new programming language. Well, doesn't it itself need to be programmed in a pre-existing language? The chicken and the egg type of thing? Like, how does that even, how do you even do? I'm very confused. Ooh, that worked out all right. Hup. Spelunk. Careful, Wolfie. That did not work out all right. Jeez. Oh, yeah, he completely missed that jump. Good job. So yeah, not too much. And even the floating point thing and the existence of the far lands, I should know a lot more about it than I do. Like, during interviews and things, people ask me to explain it, and I'm like, I really don't know. I'm just walking to the far lands. Stuff happens, whatever. Ignorance is bliss. This one from an anonymous donor. If you could have any superpower with no consequences, with no consequences instantly given to you, what would it be? Probably flight. Flight. Let's go with flight. I don't think invisibility or laser eyes or anything like that would really be of help. Even like super strength, you know, what am I gonna do? Lift a car? Some parlor tricks? Probably flight. Flight would be fun. Whee! Let's go with flight. Zombles? Ooh. Oh, hello. Yes, you are a plenty. A plenty of zombles. But not seemingly from a spawner. Oh, hi, Wolfie. Excuse me, we're going this way now. Careful, Wolfie. Let's see, another question. Let's get through these questions. Come on. Nick Claus, Santa? Asks, what is the biggest zoo animal you could beat in a fight if it came down to it? Well, I can't say I have much scientific proof to back this up. Zoo animals. It's gotta be a zoo animal. I mean, there's like alligators and tigers and gorillas and things that are in the zoo. I don't think I could work those out. Gorillas and apes kind of freak me out. They seem incredibly strong. So I'll avoid the primates. Biggest zoo animal I could beat in a fight. Thinking of the big zoo animals. Your hippopotami, your giraffes, and I almost said triceratops. What are those things called? Rhinos and things? Probably not. I'll avoid those. I'll probably... I started to think even like an ostrich. No, an ostrich would probably kick my head off and or peck my eyes out. Let's think. Biggest animal in a zoo. Because we're talking about size here. Oh, have I been walking the wrong way? No, I haven't. Maybe I just set up this. I haven't been doing that intentionally. Oh well, a little bit of a detour, but let's think about this and continue walking in the correct direction in the morning. And wakeness. I don't think I have. Maybe I have. Oh well. I'm just thinking in terms of size. Because, I mean, there's definitely small animals that one could beat in a fight. But just I'm thinking of the size to fight ratio. I gotta think about that. Maybe a... I'm thinking of like the cats and things. Those are like smaller than me, but even them, you know, like your panthers and your jaguars, and even like a lynx or something like that, I probably wouldn't be able to beat up. I'm also, I don't want to fight these animals. if I can avoid it, that would be nice, not to have to fight some sort of zoo animal. Careful, Wolfie! Let us feed Wolfie. I think Wolfie needs some food. Yep, it certainly does. That pig was dry back there, but we'll see what we can do. Boop, and boop. Okay, good, you ate those. Pelican? Flamingo, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. What do you think is the biggest zoo animal I could beat in a fight? If it were to come down to fisticuffs, what could I possibly survive? Woof! Wolfie has no idea either. Like a meerkat, maybe? does like the entire herd of meerkats then attack you, or group, or murder, or whatever? I don't know how. I'm not sure. I do not know. I'm afraid. Here is a question from an anonymous donor. Would you consider attending the Formula One Grand Prix in Austin, Texas? The one and only American, or United States, I'm sorry, based F1 race? Probably not. I made mention of this a couple times during our Formula One episodes with Beef. Or racing around tracks, you see different bleachers and grandstands around the different turns. It's like you get a seat to watch the Grand Prix, and then you only see this one turn the entire time. Meanwhile, there's like the rest of the track that winds around that you never get to see, except for maybe on the big screens, something like that. Doesn't seem too exciting. At least with the few times I have been to races, I've been NASCAR races. You can. If you get good seats, you can see the whole track. You can kind of, pan out and actually look everywhere and be able to see the action from any part of the oval track. But I don't know. Probably not. I don't know how are those. I'm assuming they're expensive, being it's like a one-time event per year at most. So I'm assuming tickets to those things are pretty expensive. Probably not. Probably not. I probably would not go out of my way. Now, if like somebody invited me and said, "Hey, this is Codemasters. We noticed you guys have been playing Formula One. How about you guys, as some sort of publicity thing, go to the Formula One race in Texas or whatever?" I'd be like, "Okay, if you're paying my way, that's fine." But I would not go out of my way. Would not probably go out of my way to see a Formula One race. If it was like in my hometown or something like that, and I didn't have to travel or anything, maybe a little bit more likely, perhaps, perchance. Another racing question from an anonymous donor. Have you been following the FIA Formula E racing series? Formula E, I think, is the electric. They look like Formula 1 cars, but they're electric. I'm not the biggest racing fan myself, but it's been pretty interesting so far as they work out all the bugs in the new cars. Do you think there's a future in it? Certainly. I mean, it's got wheels and it goes. There's gonna be people who want to race it. I mean, there's motorcycle racing. There's crazy little tiny car racing. There's motorcycle sidecar racing. So you think of all the different esoteric types of races and auto racing there's certainly a room for the electric based race cars. Like fully electric is what they are. So I mean, there's already like those solar powered races where you get those really tiny cars that look like teardrops who try to race across a certain distance. That's more of like an academic exercise versus an actual like race. But I mean, there's that. So I don't see why not. Everybody can have their cake and eat it too, electronically, perhaps even. Let's make a boat. I feel like I'm missing stuff. Oh, the food. I'm like, why is my inventory so empty? I don't have any wolfie food on me. Bloop. Oh, thanks. Speaking of wolfie, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. So yeah, let's look out for some pigs here. We got a half a day left. Dan, the Let's Play man, asks, I've been reading about these a month without internet or PC experiments. Apart from your job, how hard would you think living a month without any electronic gadgets would be? And how would you pass your time if you're forced into that situation? I would probably make it so that I would be busy with some sort of outdoor wilderness, perhaps. That would be a good time to take up some sort of camping or, some sort of outdoor exploration, perhaps like on a road trip. That'd be a good time to take a long drive off a short cliff. No, but then again, I'd almost want to share those things too. So like, can I have like a digital camera with me? I won't upload the pictures or share anything through a computer, but could I at least like just take pictures and video and stuff? Would that be feasible? Would that be allowed? I don't, some people say, oh, you've got to get away from the video games and the computers, it's bad for you, or oh, you're sitting too long, or oh, it's not the right way humans are supposed to live. Well, no, technology changes, life changes, a lot of stuff happens through computers and online now. Things go through these changes. Back in the day, people said, oh, can't be driving around in cars too much, or the horses are getting all weak. You gotta adapt. Gotta move forward and into the future and forward with progression and stuff like that. So yeah, I suppose I would only participate in such a thing as like an experiment, or as like a challenge, or as something. Oh, this will be fun to do. Not like, oh, I need to give this up cold turkey. I need to step away from the computer. Obviously, since my way of life really depends on it, that's a no-go. But yeah, I've seen those. There's also the challenges like, oh, only live with 100 things, 100 possessions. Straight down to like pairs of socks and pants and computers and phones. Bowls, spoons. Just the amount of items you own during a month. Everything else, put in a room you can't access, or put in storage, or sell off, even if you really want to go nuts about it. But yeah, I see validity and interest in those types of challenges, but not so much unless you have a serious problem. I don't see the point of like restricting yourselves from using things that come into play into daily life. And that's my 2 cents. Waterfall. All right, so the sun is setting. I'm wondering, blah, 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 blah. Here's a quick question. 2 questions from an anonymous donor. Have you ever considered taking part in crowdsourced science? Considered, yes. I mean, the one that really stuck out to me is the Zooniverse. There is a astronomy and science based crowdsourced science thing where you search through images from the deep dark or big sky network, or the deep sky survey, or whatever it's called, how many galaxies are you finding in this, that, and that, and then they give you another slide. There's another one for counting and finding and cataloging craters on the moon, and other things like that, and perhaps trying to find comets. The one that's the most famous, I suppose, is the Deep Sky Survey one, where the Vorwerp was discovered. Hanny's Vorwerp, which is the kind of the weird green gaseous blob that was discovered by a school teacher from Norway, I want to say. And it was like a new object that was discovered by just the school teacher who had really no other previous connection or knowledge of science. And now she has this entire object in deep space named after her. And because she discovered it in this image. Of course, that's a very rare occurrence that you find something unusual like that. That's never been seen by science before. But, that's kind of the most popular one. And that's kind of cool. I think I considered starting those sorts of things, but I never had the fortitude to continue on with those. But yeah, that's always cool stuff. And then there's the things that you could you can have a program running on your computer when it's idle to try to find the digits of pi or prime numbers, or whatever else sort of long-term supercomputing scientific thing is going on. And then another question, totally unrelated, by the same anonymous donor. Where'd it go? Can we see the first Flobathon, please? I do have that. Obviously, Twitch has since removed the archives, but I do have that. I have to look at the footage. I will be uploading, like I said, soon, the 4-year anniversary, which wasn't the Flobathon, by the way. Some people were still a little bit confused. Not the Flobathon, not a Flobathon, not a thon. It was just a brief. It wasn't cut short because of the internet connectivity or anything like that. It was supposed to be brief, 2-3 hours maybe, just exploring some of the old KurtJMac worlds and just kind of celebrating 4 years since episode 11. The full Flobathon will only happen when we raise $50,000 this season. And you can help us get there. Hey, segue. You can help us get there by going to farlandsofbus.com and donating to Child's Play charity, helping get toys, books, and games to kids in hospitals around the world. And I do appreciate that. I appreciate, once again, the Minecraft bingo community for holding a bingo night dedicated to doing such things as those, and everybody else who has donated this season and in previous seasons. A great cause and a great reason to keep walking to the far lands, which we will do on Friday. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Bye.